They smiled in your face while planning your fall behind your back. Told you they were proud, while secretly hoping you'd never rise too high. They needed you to stay small, quiet, obedient, because the second you realized your power, they knew the game was over. You were the pawn, moved around, used, sacrificed, all so someone else could win. They offered you crumbs, called it support. They fed you lies, called it love. But now you see it clearly, don't you? The whole thing was a setup, a game designed to break you, not build you. And the worst part, you trusted them. You showed your real self, your fears, your dreams, your raw truth. They saw your loyalty not as something sacred, but as a weakness to exploit. But here's the twist they didn't expect. The pawn is about to flip the board, because you've had enough. Enough of playing nice. Enough of waiting for apologies that never came. Enough of holding back your fire to make others comfortable. The truth, you were never weak. You were just surrounded by people who needed you to believe you were. But now you're moving differently, quietly, strategically. You've learned the rules and how to break them. You've learned that being underestimated is the greatest weapon of all. So let them laugh. Let them sleep on you. You're not out for revenge. You're out for results. And when you win, and you will win, don't say a word. Just smile. Let the silence speak. Because the loudest revenge is becoming everything they said you'd never be. There was a time you would have done anything for them, answered every call, dropped everything when they needed you, bent yourself just to fit their mold. You didn't question their intentions. Why would you? You believed loyalty meant something. You believed that love, whether from a partner, a friend, or even family, was sacred. But little by little, the cracks began to show. They started needing you only when it was convenient. They stopped clapping when you won. Their smiles felt forced, their praise laced with envy. And yet, you ignored the signs. You made excuses for them. They're going through something. They don't mean it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But deep down, you felt it. The shift. You were no longer a person to them. You were a tool, a pawn, something to control, to manipulate, to benefit from. They used your kindness to get ahead, your silence to avoid accountability, your loyalty to keep you trapped in a game they were always meant to win. And when you finally started to see it, when the veil lifted, they didn't apologize. No, they painted you as the problem, said you were too emotional, too sensitive, or overreacting. But here's the thing, you weren't too much. You were enough, more than enough. They just couldn't handle someone who couldn't be controlled anymore. And now you're awake. Now you've learned. You're no longer the pawn. You're the one moving in silence, watching, calculating, not to hurt, but to heal, to build, to rise. Because the most dangerous thing in this world is not someone filled with rage. It's someone who's healed from betrayal and is now unbothered. They played you once, but the game has changed, and this time, you're playing a win. The game was never fair. You entered it with open hands, willing to give, willing to care, willing to trust. But they entered with strategy. You thought you were building something real. They were only building something for themselves. You were the one who believed in teamwork, in shared success. They believed in advantage, They saw your strengths and thought, how can I use this? They saw your honesty and thought, how can I twist this? They saw your dreams and whispered, how can I distract them? But it's not your fault. You were raised to believe that good people give the benefit of the doubt. That kindness will be returned. That loyalty means something. What they didn't teach you, what you had to learn the hard way, is that not everyone plays fair. Some people smile at you while sharpening the knife behind their back. Some people keep you close, not because they value you, but because they fear what you would become without them. They needed to keep you small, because your growth would expose their stagnation. Your healing would reveal their toxicity. Your success would shine a light on everything they failed to become. So they chipped away at you, quietly, subtly. They questioned your worth, made you doubt your instincts, pushed you to believe that you were the problem. And for a while, it worked. You hesitated. You apologized for things you didn't do. You bent until you almost broke. But then something snapped. Not in a loud, dramatic way. It was quiet, calm, final. You stopped needing their validation. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped playing the game. And in that silence, you began to rebuild. You took back your time. You took back your focus. You started pouring all the love you once gave to them into yourself. And suddenly, things shifted. You moved differently. Your silence became power. Your absence became noticeable. Your glow became undeniable. And they felt it. Oh, they felt it. Because the truth is, people don't notice your worth when you're always available. They notice it when you're gone, when your energy is no longer theirs to use, when your light is no longer theirs to dim. And now they're watching as you rise, watching as you grow. They can't say anything, but they feel everything. The regret, the discomfort, the fear. Because deep down, they know you were the one who meant well. You were the one who had their back. You were the one who could have helped them grow, if only they hadn't tried to play you. But you're not looking back, not to gloat, not to seek revenge, because you've outgrown all of it. You've learned that the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's elevation. It's silence. It's living a life so full, so grounded, so untouchable, that they can't even reach the version of you they helped create. You've become the player now, not in a manipulative way, but in a conscious, self-aware, emotionally intelligent way. You don't move out of pain anymore. You move with purpose. You learned that boundaries are not walls. They are protection. That self-respect isn't selfish. It's survival. That letting go isn't weakness. It's wisdom. So, let them talk. Let them pretend nothing happened. Let them watch from the shadows. You don't need closure. You don't need their validation, because the closure came the moment you realized you were never the pawn. You were the prize. They played you to win a short game, but you're playing the long one. And you're doing it with peace, clarity, and fire in your soul. You're no longer triggered. You're no longer reacting. You've become what they feared. Someone who cannot be manipulated. Someone who no longer needs approval. Someone who walks away and doesn't look back. You didn't just survive. You transformed. And now, you're not just someone who's been through it. You're You're someone who's built from it. Every betrayal, every lie, every manipulation, it didn't destroy you, it refined you. And in that quiet, powerful evolution, you became dangerous. Not because you want revenge, but because you don't. You want growth. You want peace. You want your life back. And now that you have it, there's no force in the world that can take it from you again. The most satisfying part of rising is doing it without seeking applause. No grand announcement, no revenge speech, just growth, loud in silence. That's what they never saw coming. See, they expected you to break, to beg, to come back. They counted on your attachment, your loyalty, your love. But what they never calculated was your awakening. And when you woke up, everything changed. You realized they weren't your people. That love doesn't look like control. That loyalty doesn't mean suffering in silence. You saw the truth in their actions, how they smiled when you were small and pulled away the moment you started standing tall. But now you've reclaimed your identity. You no longer shrink yourself for anyone. You no longer carry people who would drop you without hesitation. You no longer explain your worth to those committed to misunderstanding you. And that is the power they'll never understand. Because here's the secret. True growth doesn't need revenge. It doesn't need proof. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to scream it into the world. You simply live, unbothered, unshaken, unreachable. And when they look back, when they scroll, when they ask about you, when they replay old messages in the dark, they'll feel it. That emptiness, that silence, that cold absence where your warmth used to be. But this time, you won't return. Not because you're bitter, but because you've healed. And healing taught you something priceless. Peace is too expensive to trade for temporary comfort. So keep walking, keep rising. You're not the same person they once knew. You've evolved from the version they could manipulate into the one they can't even access. Let them wonder. Let them miss you. Let them regret it in the spaces you used to fill. And you keep building, keep glowing, keep showing the world what it looks like when someone turns their pain into power. Because in the end, the greatest revenge isn't watching them hurt. It's watching you become everything they said you never would. Calm, confident, whole. You were never the pawn. You were the hidden queen, the unseen king, the storm they never saw coming. And now, you don't move out of hurt. You move like someone who knows exactly who they are. And exactly what they'll never settle for again. Let them regret it. But don't waste another second on the ones who couldn't see your value. You're not theirs to play with anymore. You're yours, completely, unapologetically, forever.